Hey guys, and welcome back again to me, Van, playing City Skylines today in my city of Springvalley. Today, we're starting with this beautiful view of Springvalley here and this new little downtowny kind of, it reminds me of Japan, actually, one of those cities that have the train station in the center and then lots of high rises around that before it actually goes back to the more less densely populated areas here. So that's one of the district that we built during the last episode. And for this episode, I will focus a little bit on fixing some of the things that I might have done slightly wrong in the last episode, or at least not the way as I intended them to be. As you can see, this is kind of a spaghetti something mess here with my train tracks, so I'm going to improve on that. And the other thing I wanted to do is also making sure that trains that come from here can directly go from here to there, because I think that's probably one thing that's currently slowing down or that could potentially slow down the traffic to my industrial areas here and there. So that's something I definitely want to improve on. And except despite that, I would be absolutely curious about your thoughts of my last video, episode 41. Because I started with a new playstyle, making sure that I focus more on playing the game during the recording session, and then afterwards doing the voiceovers in DaVinci Resolve. Actually, this has been kind of challenging for me. It took me quite a while to get the last episode finished. But I think honestly it turned out really nice and way more structured and way more focused on giving you the right information at the right time, instead of just talking while I'm playing, while I couldn't even focus on everything. I think in that occasion, honestly, all those overpaths here, they look a bit overwhelming and a bit too much, but I think in the end it will turn out nicely as soon as I finish this spaghetti mess here. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. And in case you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would really appreciate if you did so, because I want to work on my channel here, grow it until the 24th of October 2023, when City Skylines 2 launches. So I already booked in some holidays for me, so that I have a full day or maybe even 2 full days off, just to make sure that I can get started right away as soon as the game is released. I can't wait for it, to be honest. But that's way to go, and until then I will focus on playing City Skylines 1. So let's get started, and thank you for joining me today, and I'll be back for you in a couple of minutes. So first off, I'm getting started with adjusting a couple of heights for my train tracks here to make it more evenly across all tracks, and then I continue with deleting the existing spaghetti mess here of my train tracks and make sure that I have a better setup in the near future. And the other plan I have for this train intersection, and you will see it come to life in a bit, is that I get an overpath for my train to be able to go straight instead of just turning to the main station and leaving from there again. I think this should significantly improve the train traffic for my cargo trains, because they most likely want to travel straight through the town instead of stopping by the main station. And one thing you should remember here is that main stations are not there to deliver any goods, so that's the reason why I made this decision. And I'm also deleting these underpasses for my pedestrians right now because they're in the way of me laying out those new train tracks. I have to admit that it looks a little bit messy here, this whole intersection thing, the on and off ramps of my highways and the train tracks and the transitioning tracks here that I just recently added. But right now I'm putting in the connection for the highway, the 2-lane highway, just to make sure that it's back again connected to the main highway. And here's another project I wanted to get started with, which is deleting this underground tunnel to make the train connection more visible. So what I'm deleting here is the existing train tunnels up north, and from there I will take it on and lead everything through the residential areas above ground, but still in a little trench or a little bit down below the surface, just to make sure that I have kind of a sound barrier running through it as well. And to make it more beautiful, I'm picking my quays again and running them alongside the train tracks, just to make sure that it looks visually a bit more pleasing than just a huge trench and these massive stone rock-like walls on the left and on the right, because I think it looks more reasonable, more like a planned solution instead of just lowering the tracks. The only reason why I actually had a tunnel in the end is because I wanted to have a nice transition to my highway, and I didn't want to give up on my more downtowny like area next to the other new train station that I added in episode 41. And as an additional sound barrier, I'm also adding a line of trees here. I just needed to figure out which ones, because obviously I didn't want to choose the biggest ones, because it would look very unnatural compared to the low-rise residential zones. So I was picking one of the trees and changing the spacing in between so that it looks a bit more reasonable and not too dense at all. And I'm leading that across or alongside the train tracks, the newly ones, and I'm closing things up here just to make sure that I have something like a sound barrier running through town. Now it's about time to let the game run for a little bit to see how this new installment and this new solution actually does work. Whether trains are coming in, what kind of trains are coming in, whether they are passing through, and you already saw one of the cargo trains running from east to west. So that connection definitely works, and from there on I'm trying to solve just a few minor traffic things, adjusting heights here and there. And it's about preparing everything for the pedestrian overpaths now, to be able to get my citizens from the northern part, the less densely populated part of my town, to the highly densely populated part of my town. And here I thought that actually every major train station needs a good parking lot nearby. So I tried to squeeze in with the parking lot mod, smaller parking lot here, just to make sure that my citizens have access to park their cars, because I thought, all this traffic that's coming up here must be for some reason. Must be happening for some reason, but actually, and you will experience that in a little bit, what happened thanks to the parking lot is that I had a huge traffic mess next to this train station. So I deleted this idea right after and went back to the original state, or almost original state. Now it's about time to establish the inner city train connection. So what I'm setting up here is one stop at the main station, one other at the stadium area, and the next one at the newly added more rural train station up north. And obviously I'm leading this connection back to its starting point to close the circle. And from then on, I think at least a couple of hundreds of citizens are already taking this connection to travel to work or to shop. And finally, it's about time to set up the pedestrian overpath here to connect my citizens back to the central part of town from the northern part of town. So first I'm building a path between under the highway here, or the overpath here. So I'm connecting this up, and I'm doing the same thing on the other side, of course, and then I'm sneaking my way across Pearl Bridge, Taylor Bridge, and in between those on and off ramps, but it actually turns out pretty nicely. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this solution. And Ray, I wanted to thank you again for your comment. I think it was 2 episodes ago when you provided me the suggestion to add in actually roads with dedicated bike lanes. So I'm here searching for a 6-lane road with bike lanes. and as soon as I've found it, I'm actually upgrading all of my arterial roads across town, just to make sure that I give my citizens enough options of actually taking the bike instead of walking, or taking the public transport solutions, or riding a car, which is the thing that I want to avoid overall. In the end, you will see me checking my traffic flow, and actually I got back to a stable 85%, which is not too bad. At least from my experience, it's not too bad, because I'm not as experienced as Biffa, for example, with solving huge traffic issues in several cities. So he has way more experience in getting things like that solved. But yeah, for now, I think this was a good option for me to encourage people to take their bikes instead of their cars to get from A to B across town. And there is actually one other really, really old and established structure in my town that I wanted to get rid of. And this is the two roundabouts that I have here. So I'm deleting those right now. And then I'm running this 6-lane road, including bicycle lanes from the eastern part, the downtown area, currently the downtown area of Springvalley, to the more western part where it's still rural, still the old road structures exist from the time when there was like the farming industry and everything else established over there. So I'm running through that avenue here up to the other end, and then again I'm building out the underpasses actually for my highway. And this was a bit of a challenge first, but in the end it turned out way better than I thought it would be. Now it's again about time to solve some of the minor traffic issues in town. As you can see, I still have a few crossings that do not work very well with all the traffic, so I'm trying to find a good solution for this here. In the end, I was able to solve it pretty nicely, I think, but currently I'm still struggling to find a better solution for that, and by running and putting in the new avenues with bicycle lanes, that actually didn't make my job very much easier at the very beginning, but in the end it turned out very well. And I also thought that it might be nice to have 5-star parks across town. So what I am doing in the next couple of minutes is adding in a few more amenities like gazebos, like children's playgrounds, and I think it's climbing parks in each and every one of the parks, so that I get to a 5-star level rating for every park in my city, or almost every park in my city. I think I'm just not able to establish a 5-star level for one of those parks that you can see here. The reason why I'm doing this, actually why I'm upgrading my parks to 5 stars, because I think the recreational factor is way bigger for my citizens, and the other fact is that I want to make sure that my city is a bit more attractive for new residents, because in the end I want to get to the 100k as a next step without building too many new residential zones at the very beginning. Now it's about time to expand my autumn college area, because I want to grow this college as well over time. Right now I'm at a 3-star college. I want to get it to a 4-star as soon as possible, but I definitely need a few more amenities based on the current rating of the college. So what I'm doing here, I'm deleting this low-rise residential zone, deleting a couple of roads here, and later on in this video you will also see me moving the school on the side, the library, the public library actually, which is the big building here on the west. So on the right side of my screen, you will see it in a second. So I'm moving that to a different place just to make sure that I have more room for my college area to grow in the end. So I think that's about it with this episode of me Ben playing City Skylines today in my city of Springvalley. I was able to get a lot of things done. Actually, the first one I started with is sorting out this like spaghetti train tracks that I had. It's still a bit confusing at the moment, but I think I found a good way how to get everything connected properly so that the trains can travel into every direction they want to go to. The next thing I did was setting up a special like city train line between that station. It hits the stadium area and then it goes to the central station again and goes back and forth the whole distance. So I'm just checking it because I'm curious regarding public transport, like how many users are actually using this. Oh, it's at least is it? Could that be? No, it's the metro, and the train is at least used by 229 passengers, 4 stops in total, so that's fine. I think that's pretty good for a start. And then I also, and this was quite a lot of work, I replaced all of the arterial roads with roads that have a specific bicycle lane here. As you can see, people are constantly and massively using them, which is amazing because it takes a lot of roads off of my streets. I fixed a couple of minor things, like there was one exit coming up and leading to literally nowhere here for my pedestrian underpaths. Then I rebuilt this intersection slightly. I added in a new on and off ramp here because I soon want to start, or at least get started with building out that part of my downtowny area. So this was all in preparation to achieve that. And yeah, I was able to upgrade all the parks, or most of the parks, to 5 stars now, which is amazing because I think this might be another big boost for my citizens, or for new citizens to move in. And something I haven't taken care of since quite a while are my industrial zones, actually. So I still have this cargo airport up here, and it seems to work pretty well. I haven't gotten any complaints about this so far. And also my farming industry here seems to work great, so no issues there. And also my forestry industry seems to do good, so I'm happy with that. And I think in one of the next episodes I definitely want to spend some time on either establishing an oil industry here, or establishing somewhere what's left here. I'm sorry, it's oil or and this should be oil here and or somewhere else. So I have to find a spot where I can actually get access to ore, because I think this again might take off some load off my budget. It's constantly going back and forth between minus a couple of thousand and plus a couple of thousand. It's fine because I still have about 5 million, which is good. So I'm not worried about anything here. But as soon as I want to introduce and establish a couple of big new investments here in my city, it's going to be tough on budget. And what I started doing now is also building the, I would say the basis, the groundwork for my college area here, because I want to increase the available space here significantly. Might even do one more thing here. Just let me check that. So this is a public library. I want to relocate it here. And then I should, again, taxi stand. It's so unnecessary, I think, but I'll keep it for now. So one street less leading through my downtown area, and then I also want to increase that area here so that I can set up a couple of more college buildings here, and hopefully I will be able to reach another level soon. So I still need more students. From an attractiveness level, I need to make a huge step forward. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I would like to thank you again for joining me today here in City Skylines. And in case you haven't followed me yet, I would really appreciate if you did so. And yeah, if you have a comment regarding this kind of new episode here that was started with episode 41, if you have some feedback for me, please let me know. I would be excited to get your opinion on this, whether it's better to have voiceovers or not. Maybe you like the previous approach where I was talking right when I was playing, but I think the voiceovers do have some benefits because I can give you that information that's really important depending on the situation or where we are at during the gameplay. I can see that a lot of those residential buildings, they definitely increased in height, so it's slowly but steadily becoming a absolutely downtowny area here, and it's just amazing to see that, especially with the other districts over here like Madison Park or Moore Park or Barlow District. I absolutely love to see this distinction between high-rises and low-rise buildings. It's absolutely beautiful, and also that area is very, very special. I like it a lot, and I think it's currently one of the best builds that I did so far in City Skylines, even if it's not yet the biggest one from a citizen's perspective. But yeah, let's wait and see where we'll end up with on the 23rd of October before we are switching to City Skylines 2. So thanks again, have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon back here.